All right, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. Harold, how you doing?
I'm good,
Um,
man.
Good to see you. Listen, how would you describe this season compared to last season? How is it different? Why is it better than the last season?
I would say that this season, like last season, there was a lot of tension. This season, it's really dark. It's like insidious. It's a bully. Like the town is like a bully, and it's like now it's just picking on them for no goddamn reason. Like it's just really just picking on them. And so this season, like it really just uh, it makes you mad. It breaks your heart. It makes you want to figure out like how to get these people out of there. It makes you sympathize for them, and in some instances, maybe even makes you suddenly dislike a person. Maybe a person that you liked before that now you're going like, now I'm questioning who you are. And so this season it really is dark. It's a dark turn on the on everything that's happening and what's going on. And the town is really messing with them. It's terrible.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. That got me excited. I'm gonna grab me a bottle of Sable and I'm gonna watch. Thank
See
you.
what I'm saying? God, that's what I'm gonna be doing too. Say for all you guys, if you don't know, I'm doing a bourbon with my friends called Sable. It just launched today, and so I'm gonna be doing a lot of drunk tweeting for the next few months. It's gonna be wild. I do think he's brought his A game. I think he showed up with his A game. I think once he was like, "Look, I'm going to figure this out." I think he brought everything he could bring to the table. But like I was just saying before, this town is not playing. They are fucking with him like over and over and over and over again, and with everybody. And so I think he's going to push harder. I think he's going to keep going harder, and I think there won't be a way to stop him unless you stop him. And so and I don't mean slow him down. I mean stop him. You will have
Okay.
to end him before he stops trying. And so I think he will continue to bring his A game and until his very last breath. I'm not saying he's going to
Ooh,
have a last breath. It's just
okay.
a saying. It's a thing.
All right.
I think what I think is really it's we don't talk about it in the season, but it's like it's the undertone. It's the reason that the monsters don't move fast. We mentioned it once. They don't move fast because they don't have to. They're gonna get you. Like I don't have to run. I'm gonna get you. There's no place for you to go. And so while I consider that Boyd is probably the most one of the most dangerous ones there, and they should get rid of him, they're like, for what? Like it's gonna be fun. Like watch how he squirms and struggles and like fights himself because he thinks he's gonna win, but he's not. And so I think for whatever reason they're enjoying it. I don't know why. I don't know what would make. I don't know what's going on in John Griffin's brain that would make you like do a thing where a town is teasing the toughest guy around, but that's what they're doing, and that's the thing. I think that they're doing because they're like, yeah, no, yeah, bring your A game. Like he said, bring it. No, I want to see. And that's Yeah, that was pretty difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It was really difficult, and it was made more difficult because we didn't have the same kind of escape mechanisms we'd had in previous seasons where we could go out and there might be a concert or a thing. Like we were in the dead of winter, and so after you left some late night shoot and it was snowing again, you were just kind of trapped in your place with your thoughts about the thing that you just shot, 3 hours ago. And so it was pretty difficult. And there's one thing that happens. I don't know if it's like in this sixth episode that literally I every time I went to close my eyes to go to sleep, it would pop back in my brain. because it's my own personal fear, and so like that really sucked. Like if I'm being really honest, that's when I was like, I'm questioning my career choices. I'm really like, I don't know, like. Could I have been a dolphin trainer? Maybe something else. But it was pretty tricky. But here's the thing: it's the thing I love to do, right? And like, there's sometimes you have to go through some wacky stuff to deal with it, and so I'm fortunate to get to do it. So I don't mean to complain about it, but it's not always as it's not so easy. There's again back to Sable. I'm going to be drunk a lot. So, so that's how we do it. Yeah, actually, and yeah, with the help of yeah, that's the answer to your question because, and I think it's a natural thing, right? That once you look at your dad as that guy. I did it myself as that guy, but then when you have your kids and I don't mean to be like higher or lower, but I mean you have your kids who like you have to protect. Like suddenly that guy has to take a back seat. Whatever it was that you thought he knew before, like it's not his job anymore. And so then that creates a dynamic between father and son. And I think Boyd and Ellis get into a bit of that, and with people pushing Ellis to be like, yo, you have a child coming. You need to step up. And so I think that's going to be that I think those are going to be really interesting. That's going to be an interesting relationship to watch. That's the best way to say that. So like I would sort of describe him as like a person who is stuck in a hole that just keeps getting deeper, right? And so like it just won't stop. And so like I feel like especially as far as the storytelling goes for us, I feel like he's right in the middle of his journey in that middle part where you're about to lose like all hope because you can't see the pathway. And so like I think before in the very beginning he thought naively like I can figure this out and I can figure it out quickly, and then it turned, right? And then it turned again. And so it's like, fuck, I can't. And so like, this is the part of it that's really starting to get into that desperation
Right.
place for Boyd, right? And so how does he navigate with his sane mind with the part of his mind that feels like it's starting to fracture a little,
Right.
especially and then with the oncome of the Parkinson's and those things, like there's a real fracture that's happening. And so some of the things are really that are challenging are like those things that you have to put in your brain, like in order to make you feel a thing about Boyd, he has to really have loved his wife. And then if he loves his wife and he loves his child, then the choice he has to make in a split second is really difficult. And I remember having a hard time figuring out how to play that because my body kept wanting to say, like, you can't shoot her. There's nothing to do. Like, you can't. There's no way you shoot yourself first. Like I came up with all these other excuses, but then I had to find the way that would make him do that. And we had to even find it together. We had all these other scenarios, and the only way that came out is that he couldn't think about it. Do you know what I mean? That he had to like, he's trying to talk to her, and then she threatens, and he just responds like, and it was hard to get there because once I decided that I loved them, it's really hard it was
Yeah.
a hard thing to figure out. So. Yeah, man. I wish I could tell you that. I wish I could tell you that. Like I had this whole thing the first season that reminded me of Rakim. It ain't where you're from, it's where you at. And I thought that that's, like that's why it was called From, because it's like it don't really matter where you came from. We here, ain't we? And so that's what. And so you think it'd be called Here, but it's not. So I don't know. That's the answer to that. I don't know why it's called From. And John keeps saying it'll be explained. John Griffin, our writer, and so I'm waiting for the explanation like everybody else. But that being said, the one thing that's really, really great about this season, like behind the scenes, is that this season we shot in the winter for the first time. And if you've never shot a show in the winter in a place where the weather is wildly unpredictable, then you ain't done nothing. Because this is like, we literally would start shooting a scene. It's blue skies. And we shoot and we start. And like in the middle of the scene, it kind of starts snowing a little bit, but only enough for it to be like, oh, like, what is that? And so you stop. You're like, okay, let's wait for the snow to stop. And then it keeps snowing really hard. You're like, forget it. Let's just shoot it in the snow. And then you shoot one person in the snow, and then you turn around and shoot the other person, and then it stops snowing and starts raining. And you're like, yo, y'all playing now. Now y'all playing. And then it gets really, really cold. That's what the whole season was like. It looks beautiful. The season looks really dark and scary, but it sucked the whole way through. It was like that the whole way through. Like, and our crew was, you couldn't complain because the crew was outside like all the time, like the whole time. And anyway, just know that it looks cool. It sucked. It really did. That's behind the scenes. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm really, really grateful because you're right. A lot of shows they don't get a chance to develop and find an audience, and I think like what was a real blessing in disguise for us is that we were on a streaming network that was brand new, that definitely needed content and needed things, and our show came out and people really, really liked it, and that gave us the opportunity to come back again. If we were on some other network, we might have had other financial commitments or goals that we had to reach in order to get another season. But being on MGM Plus, they were like, well, let's just keep rolling all these shows, and they kept rolling with us. And so I'm really, really grateful because like everybody else, I want to know what's happening. I want to know why the show is called From. Like I want to know, I want to know. And so we're getting that opportunity, and I'm wildly like thankful to MGM Plus for like rolling with us again and again and again. And even though we had to like move the show to the winter because of the writer's strike, and the fans are really, really with us, and they're like, yeah, bring it back. They did it. They were like, yeah, we're going to keep going. And so I'm really, really grateful about that. Like that we get a chance to do it for myself, for our whole crew and cast. Like I think we work really hard. Like lots of people work hard, but I'm glad we're getting the opportunity to do it.
If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.